The Lebanese Philharmonic Orchestra has been creating beautiful music for the last 24 years. But now, the mounting of concerts by this or any other orchestra in the country has become virtually impossible due to the collapse of the Lebanese economy.
For the past several years, Lebanon has been in economic freefall. Its currency is close to worthless. Its government is fractured and ineffective. There's almost no electric power and there's less security. Lebanon's people are suffering. Special correspondent Layla Molana Allen sent us this report on a country in collapse.
The economy here has collapsed, sending the currency value crashing from 1,500 lira to the dollar to 30,000. Meanwhile, salaries remain unchanged. Everyone who can has left the country, but for those stuck here, this is no longer a crisis situation. This is their new reality. They're now facing a future in which the most basic necessities, power, transport, even food, are luxuries.
Professional musicians are also suffering because of the devaluation of the national currency. Their modest stipend is now worth less than 1/20th of what it was a few years ago. Supplementing their income by teaching is no longer an option, since students can no longer afford to have lessons, and transportation is practically impossible due to the skyrocketing cost of and shortage of fuel. Households are lucky to get more than an hour or two a day of power. Access to the internet is also limited. With this financial backdrop, the prospect of organizing any kind of orchestral concert seems slim. Pianist Nada, a Lebanese national now living in the USA, is determined to change that. She is spearheading a fundraising campaign to cover the cost of holding a concert once again in Lebanon. The funds will primarily be used to cover the transportation costs for performers to attend rehearsals and the concert. She spoke to the conductor of the Lebanese Philharmonic Orchestra, Gaur Avessian, about what such an event would mean for the country as a whole.
Yes, it's been, let's say, since 2000, when the orchestra was founded by President Walid Hulmi. That was a very important discovery and very important cultural new beginning, let's say, for a country, let's say, after a war. Now, this long 20 years, if we can say like this, the cultural life was really moving forward, and it was quite bright, and everything was really good, with much festivals, summer festivals, even in Al Bustan, Baalbek, Beitutin, etc. But after the revolution of 2019, things started going totally in different direction, and things are changed upside down. Unfortunately, the crisis, the economical crisis. And that's what holds, let's say, people to make their day and their living. Unfortunately, that became the main part of their thoughts. And that's why art, as if not only became secondary, but also became something, a question of whether to be staying there or to be staying in the country or not. Many musicians left, many people left.
You were telling me also a few times we talked how difficult it is. A musician, you cannot have a big orchestra, you have to reduce because all the size of the orchestra is small, so the repertoire is limited, and the musicians are barely paid for everything they do, right?
Yeah, that's the part, that's the fact. Yes, today we are living in.
You were telling me also that you lost all your students because of the cost of the gas, because it's so
absolutely, yes, absolutely. Nowadays, the most important thing in Lebanon is the transportation. If the transportation is covered, everything starts from that point, because the gas is tremendously expensive. And the musicians are not thinking anymore to leaving their place unless the most important part, the transportation, is covered at first sight. Well, if the musicians are thinking that way, what about the students? Students will not anymore think if just to go on to move from one place to the other, because we're not talking of very long distances. Even on short distances, it's not anymore possible. Let's say we're having. In the past, we used to have, let's say, 4 main rehearsals and one general rehearsal, and the concert was they used to take at night, let's say, after the general rehearsal. Now everything is being scheduled in a way that to have less number of rehearsals as much as possible, to reduce the amount of the transportation as much as possible, to make things quite accessible for everyone. And the solution is, as much as we make less rehearsals, that would be the best for the musicians. But that doesn't mean the music will be good in that way. And that I don't like, one I think prefers to diminish the norms and the parameters of making good musicality, giving the best musicality, and taking the music to its utmost professionality. Making music is part of one of the most important aesthetics that makes someone smile in a beautiful way. And this smile is missing nowadays with the Lebanese people and Lebanese musicians. And I would be wholeheartedly grateful if people would be kind enough in the United States and would lend a hand to bring this smile back to these people in the land of the cedars, and beautify the evenings with highly great artistry, moreover in collaboration with artists like Nada, pianist Nada. We had the experience with her in the past, and why not to have that also in the upcoming season? That would be really great honor. I'm quite thankful and grateful wholeheartedly in advance for those who have done or will be doing or being their part. And as a conductor, I would like to wish them the best music for their life, for their souls, for their smile, and with always great gratitude.